In February 1959, 9 of the most experienced young hikers in the Soviet Union set up camp on a mountain the locals called the Mountain of the Dead. The next morning, they were all gone. What the search party found 2 weeks later has never been fully explained. Not by the Soviet government, not by the scientists, journalists, and amateur detectives who have spent decades trying to piece it together. This is the Dyatlov Pass incident, and the deeper you go, the less sense it makes. January 23, 1959. A group of 10 young hikers departs the city of Sverdlovsk, today known as Yekaterinburg, in the Soviet Union. They are students and graduates of the Ural Polytechnic Institute, intelligent, athletic, experienced. Their leader is Igor Dyatlov, 23 years old, an engineering student and seasoned winter trekker. This is not a group of amateurs wandering into the wilderness. These are people who know exactly what they are doing. Their goal, a 300-kilometer skiing expedition through the northern Urals, ending at the peak of Otertin Mountain, a challenging but manageable route for people of their ability. They expected to be back in 3 weeks. They would send a telegram to their sports club when they arrived. On day 4, one member, Yuri Yudin, turned back. His knee was giving him trouble. He said goodbye to his friends, watched them ski away into the tree line, and went home. He never saw any of them again. For the rest of his life, he lived until 2013, Yudin carried the guilt of the man who survived by accident.
February 20th. The sports club has not received the telegram. A search party sets out. On February 26th, they find the tent on the eastern slope of Holat Syakhl, the Mountain of the Dead. What they find makes no sense. The tent has been cut open from the inside, not unzipped, slashed, as if someone needed to get out immediately and the normal exit wasn't fast enough. Inside, they find the hikers' belongings, food, shoes, warm clothing, all of it left behind. Whatever made 9 experienced winter hikers flee their tent into minus 30-degree temperatures in the middle of the night, it was something they felt they had no time to dress for. The first 5 bodies are found in the days that follow, scattered across the snow slope leading down from the tent. Some are wearing only socks, one is barefoot. They are positioned in a way that suggests they were trying to crawl back toward the tent. Their expressions, according to searchers who found them, are not peaceful. 2 of the bodies are found near the remains of a small fire, as if they had tried to stay warm by burning their own clothing. The last 4 bodies are not found until May, when the snow melts enough to reveal a ravine 75 meters deeper in the forest. And these 4, the ones who survived longest, have the injuries that turn this from a tragedy into a true mystery. One hiker has a fractured skull. 2 others have crushed chests, ribs broken inward with a force investigators compared to a high-speed car crash. And yet, no external wounds, no bruising on the skin consistent with a physical attack. Whatever force broke their bones from the inside left no marks on the outside. Forensic experts at the time said the injuries were not consistent with any human attacker. The force required, they said, was immense and inexplicable. One of the women, Ludmila Dubinina, is found missing her tongue, her eyes, and her lips. Some of this can be attributed to decomposition and small animals over months in the snow, but not all of it. Her eyes were gone, her tongue removed cleanly as if put. Several hikers' skin has turned an unusual orange-brown color, and in one of the most unsettling details of the entire case, some of the clothing tests positive for radioactive contamination. The Soviet investigation closes in May 1959. Their conclusion? The hikers died due to, and this is a direct quote, an unknown compelling force. Case closed. Files sealed. Area restricted for the next 3 years. For over 60 years, the theories have multiplied. Each one answers some questions and fails to answer others. The avalanche theory is the most scientifically supported. A slab of snow broke loose above the tent in the night, partially burying it and panicking the group into fleeing. The crushing chest injuries could be consistent with someone caught beneath a wall of compacted snow moving at speed. Russian investigators in 2019 and Swiss scientists in 2021 both endorsed this as the most likely explanation. But critics point out that the tent was found largely intact. No major avalanche debris surrounded it, and the slope gradient at that precise location is considered by some researchers, including a 2024 investigation by Oleg Taiman, too gentle to produce the kind of slab avalanche described. The debate continues. The military theory is darker. The Soviet Union was actively testing missiles and rockets in this region in 1959. Witnesses from another hiking group 50 kilometers away reported seeing strange orange orbs in the sky on the very night the group died. The lead investigator in 1959, Lev Ivanov, later admitted in 1990 that he had been ordered to close the case and that he personally believed the flying spheres were connected to the deaths. The radioactive clothing, the internal injuries without external marks, a fuel-air explosive detonating nearby could theoretically produce exactly that, a shockwave that shatters bones without breaking skin. Then there's infrasound, low-frequency sound waves produced by high winds moving over certain mountain shapes. Infrasound can cause panic, hallucinations, a desperate need to flee. It can make humans feel as if something is terribly wrong without them ever knowing why. Some researchers believe infrasound, combined with the cold and disorientation, could explain the frantic, irrational behavior of the group without requiring any external force at all. Among the group's cameras recovered from the tent was one final photograph, shot by one of the hikers in the last hours before their deaths. It shows something in the darkness. Shapes, blurry, unclear. Researchers have argued for decades over what it depicts. Some say it is a long exposure of the night sky. Others say it shows a person or something that looks like one. The Soviet government's silence on the case for decades fueled every conspiracy theory imaginable. When Russia reopened the investigation in 2019, many hoped for finality. What they got was the avalanche conclusion, satisfying to scientists, unsatisfying to everyone who has read the autopsy reports and looked at that photograph. The tongue, the eyes, the radioactivity, the orange skin, the crushed chests with no external bruising, the classified files that took 30 years to surface, the investigator who said off the record that he believed something extraordinary had happened and had been told to say otherwise. None of these details fit neatly into a story about snow. Igor Dyatlov was 23 years old. Lyudmila Dubinina was 20. Yuri Krivonishenko had just started his career as an engineer. They were real people with lives ahead of them who went into the mountains on a winter trip and never came back. Whatever happened on the Mountain of the Dead that night, and we may never know, the Dyatlov Pass incident remains officially unsolved. And on the Mountain of the Dead, the answer, if there is one, is still buried somewhere under the snow. Subscribe, because next time we go somewhere you won't be able to stop thinking about either.